It is the first day of 2019. I think it's a good time to look at what we're going to be getting up to this year. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up, makers? Trevor here for Love Makes Share. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope that 2018 was all right for you. I hope that 2019 is shaping up to be good. As is the case for most people, the new year has me thinking about what worked and what didn't from last year and what I want to do going forward. So, with that in mind, I've come up with 10 maker resolutions for 2019 that I think are going to help me be more productive, do more of the things I like, kind of get away from some of the stuff that hasn't been working from me from a making stuff point of view, and just generally make me a little bit less crazy with my various projects and makes. Starting off the list, number 10, make it science. So this is inspired by the idea that Adam Savage kind of popularized on Mythbusters, which is the difference between screwing around and science is writing it down. A lot of the time I'll be working in the shop, I'll shoot a little bit of video, and by the time I get around to actually trying to edit the video and turn it into something that somebody might want to watch, I've kind of forgotten about what I did and what I learned in the course of making it. So rather than wasting that time, I think my goal is going to be to write stuff down a lot more, take notes as I go, so that I am actually able to produce some additional content for the website and the YouTube channel. Hey, I can be learning stuff about making stuff all I want, but if I don't have notes, it's not going to help anybody else, and that kind of defeats the point of the channel. Number 9 on my list of maker resolutions. This year, 2019, atoms, not bits. So what I mean by this is pretty simple. I tend to get distracted with computer stuff. So whether that is the idea of learning Unity or learning more about, say, RPG Maker, or whether I want to try and learn JavaScript or this web thing or that web thing, or ultimately a lot of that stuff doesn't give me immediate results and it doesn't bring me a whole lot of pleasure. I got a visitor apparently. This year I'm gonna take my hands off the keyboard a little bit more and try and focus in on using the computer as a tool to help whatever other project I'm doing, rather than so much time spent treating the computer like a place to make more stuff. That's not to say that digital art, digital creativity, doing cool stuff online, like that's all good stuff. And I'm not gonna stop using the computer. Obviously, I used one to research this, write this, and then edit this. The thing that I want to do is have the computer be in service to my other projects rather than have it be a distraction. Number 8 ties into a bigger resolution that I have for this year, which is this: schedule the things that matter. If I don't structure my time, then I go off in 50 different directions. I have a novel that is approaching the end of its second draft. I want to finish it. So I need to start carving out time a little bit more intentionally to make that happen. I have some ongoing stuff with the kids that I want to dedicate more time to over the course of this year, and it's not going to happen unless I block out that time. To be positive about it, this year I want to set aside the time for the things that I'm interested in, rather than just kind of slotting it in around other distractions. Number 7 on my list of maker resolutions for 2019 is Toby. To let things be what they are. You know, sometimes a little experimentation piece can just be that. It doesn't have to lead to something else. I can just do something to learn something. In fact, some of the most popular videos on this channel are just us trying something, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but we have a little fun with it and then put it up so that maybe somebody else can learn something from it as well. I think that's a really important lesson, that not only are the things that I often find really rewarding, but that you, my viewers, like, is when we just set out to see if something works. But this also associates with maybe an idea I have as a blog post instead of a video or a series of videos. Maybe a short film script that I write isn't going to become a short film, but it's a good writing exercise for me. Maybe a piece of art or a sketch that I do is just that and doesn't have to be part of a larger project. Letting things be what they are is something I'm going to try and do more in 2019. Number 6, this kind of relates to letting things be what they are, but in 2019, I want to scope small. I want to make more little things. I want to make something and be done with it in an afternoon or a weekend, rather than having things be ongoing. And to this end, I should know this. I'm a teacher by trade. Chunking things into smaller pieces should be a very natural thing for me to do. But for whatever reason, it's not. Things take on lives of their own, and they get big and unwieldy. So in 2019, I want to see more bite-sized projects that we start and end and share. Number 5, keeping this particular train rolling, in order to scope it small and let things be what they are, I need to remember the KISS rule, which is keep it simple, stupid. Sometimes just do one thing. Sometimes just do the one thing. Sometimes just keep it simple. Sometimes make sure that it's small and doable with what's on hand. It doesn't have to be big. It can be experimental. It can be small. Keep it simple. Something I'm going to try for 2019. Number 4. Remember, it's called Love, Make, Share. So doing all this other stuff hopefully will enable me to share more of what we do and what we're up to so that you can learn from it yourselves. And there have been some really cool conversations happening in YouTube comments or over on the Facebook page this year, or in messages on Facebook this year, where it feels like people are learning from what we've done. And that makes me really happy and really psyched to do more stuff in 2019. So, it's called Love, Make, Share. Number 3, I've made this its own item because you may notice I've said the word experiment a number of times. Experimentation is good. That's it. Experimentation is good. I want to keep learning. To learn, I need to keep experimenting. And this is something that the kids do all the time. They're naturals at it. So, let's keep experimenting in 2019. Keep moving forward, keep learning. Number 2, if I'm going to accomplish these things, then I need to let go of a little thing called guilt. Number 2, make a resolution for 2019 is this: allow making time guilt-free. That's tough. As a parent, as somebody with a full-time job, as somebody who is trying to find ways to be more active in the community, as somebody who would love to spend more time with friends in 2019 and to be cliche about it, exercise more in 2019. It's tough to not feel guilty about wandering down to the shop or spending time on something that's not going to lead to something else. So I think I'm going to have to make a conscious effort to allow for making time guilt-free. And I think I figured out the way to do this, which brings me to make a resolution number 1, make together. And that seems pretty obvious, and it's a lot of what you see. You see a lot of the making together, but what you don't see necessarily is the fiddling and tweaking with the 3D printer. What you don't necessarily see is the time spent prepping or cleaning up, and what you don't see is a lot of the kind of day-to-day crafts and activities that we do that don't necessarily make it into the video. But I noticed in 2018 that there was a growing trend of me wandering off and kind of using making time as me time rather than together time. And not only does that kind of defeat the purpose of the whole ethos of Love, Make, Share, which is the story of how the things that we create bonds between us, but it's also not nearly as fun. My kids are the coolest little people in the world. And I want to do everything I can to have our making time this year be in service of making stuff together. So, number one, most important thing, make together. And I hope that in that I can include you, the readers of the blog, the viewers of the YouTube channel. I have really, really appreciated the comments and the discussion on the videos, and some of you reaching out for help on your other projects, and asking, hey, did this thing work? It's been really cool seeing some of the things that we've done lead to projects that you've done. So I'm gonna ask you, please stick with us in 2019. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about our projects and to tell us what you're working on as well. And hey, do you have resolutions related to making stuff in 2019? I would love to know what they are, because maybe I can learn something from them too. So please put them down in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you've been inspired. It's 2019, it's a new year, go make something.